Given the changes in the global energy market due to both COVID and our transition to a zero carbon world, how do you see exploration activity in the future?
It's a really good question. So obviously the COVID-19 crisis and the recent collapse in energy prices has had a massive impact on exploration. So we're seeing exploration budgets being slashed by a variety of companies currently. And as a function of this, we're seeing exploration activity at a real minimum. But I think we're also seeing something really interesting and really exciting. We're seeing a positive response from explorers, and we're seeing many companies using the COVID-19 crisis as an opportunity to accelerate their transition into a lower carbon or into a net zero carbon future. For example, we've recently seen BP describe how they're going to evolve into a lower carbon company. We've seen Shell announce a major restructuring at the end of this year, which is focused on a shift towards a lower carbon future. And we're seeing other companies saying the same things. And I think this transition that we're observing currently is going to have a far greater impact on exploration than any short or medium term fluctuations in oil price. And what we in RPS Energy are now doing is helping companies in this transition, but by helping them to understand the carbon intensity of their exploration prospects.
So, are you saying one of the key factors that will be considered when evaluating future exploration opportunities is the carbon intensity of the project?
Yes, absolutely. So even today, we're starting to see this. So investors are already asking questions around the potential emissions from a future project, and they're starting to rank opportunities based on these metrics. And this is clearly a really good thing. So those projects that have the highest emissions will simply not get funded, and the resource, the oil and gas, will stay in the ground. So I think the challenge to us is how do we help oil companies and investors quantify the carbon intensity of their assets? And not many organisations have the skills to undertake this work, but this is where RPS can really help. So we have the advantage of having a large and a diverse team who already do this kind of work, albeit predominantly in different sectors to oil and gas. So we have an environmental team who've got the skills to review and to calculate and benchmark carbon intensity. But we've also got the unique advantage of having a subsurface and a surface team who understand the whole oil and gas value chain. So we can bring these experts together to help companies understand and calculate the carbon intensity of their assets. And when you understand that, you can begin to rank your assets against other opportunities in the basin or in the country or even on a global scale. And then we can help our clients make informed decisions to only explore for those assets or those resources that have got a part to play in their transition to a zero carbon future.
From what you've said, it sounds like there's still quite a positive outlook for exploration assets, as long as those assets are assessed against a pathway towards net zero.
Yes, absolutely. So the demand predictions for oil and gas, particularly gas as a transition fuel, mean that we still need to explore for hydrocarbons. But increasingly, society and investors will only permit exploration if it's done in a corporately responsible way, and if new discoveries are ranked and rated to ensure that the most carbon intensive resources stay in the ground. And again, this is where RPS can help. So we already use our skills to help oil companies evaluate their exploration resource and risk, but now allied to this, we can rank assets in terms of their carbon intensity. So we can calculate total greenhouse gas emissions for all activities. So exploration, development in production, and these are the scope 1 and 2 emissions, but also we can calculate the emissions associated with the consumption of the hydrocarbon. And these are the scope 3 emissions as well. So I think this is a really exciting area for explorers. And it's where we can use our skills to help people make really, really brave decisions, decisions that we wouldn't have even considered a couple of years ago. So we can now evaluate undiscovered resources based on their potential carbon intensity. And then we can advise our clients to ensure that they only explore for the cleanest hydrocarbons and that they leave the most carbon intensive resources in the ground.